Welcome to the Ponder on That podcast, where we talk about mental health, our goals, self-confidence, self-love, and many more various topics. In every episode, we will be giving advice that we can apply practically in our everyday lives. I'm Saffron King. Let's begin. Hey guys, so we're here today with the beautiful Claudeen on Ponder on That. So Claudeen, tell us about yourself and your passions.
Saffron, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it and I'm happy to be here. So I guess I'll just start off with like a little bit of my background. I actually got my undergraduate degree in information communication and technology from Florida State University. And it was really like an IT degree with communications. And so I thought I would go in one of those two directions. I did internships in both. And then I realized that I actually didn't really want to pursue a career in either. With IT, I didn't want to sit in front of the computer that much and just kind of code all day. And with social media, it just didn't feel right to me. I wasn't really that excited about it. So I ended up looking after, like when I was graduating, it was my final year in college. I, was curious and I realized I liked entertainment. I actually did my IT internship at a theater. And when I was at that theater, I kind of was exploring entertainment. I really enjoyed it. So I decided that I was going to do my master's degree. I ended up getting my master's degree at Carnegie Mellon University, and it's a program that's called Entertainment Industry Management. So you get your master's in that. I really liked it because it was a kind of like a business degree in the first year. And in the second year, you work in entertainment, really internship based. So I was in Pittsburgh doing classes like statistics, marketing, economics. And then I moved out to LA with my cohort where we had classes Wednesday afternoons, Fridays and Saturdays. And the rest of the time we just had to work in the entertainment industry. So we were doing internships. And while I was doing those internships, I was able to do two at a time because we had so much time, and I would kind of leverage it, maybe doing a Monday, Tuesday internship and a Wednesday, Thursday internship. And through that, I kind of figured out what I'm interested in. And I ended up, after I graduated, getting a job in animation. So that's where I work now. And I'm currently an art coordinator. So I kind of manage the art on the show. I communicate with the artist and the production team to make sure that everyone's kind of on the same page.
Fantastic. So you've got a lot of background behind you and you've got so much experience, Claudeen. That's amazing. But I definitely understand you there regarding, IT and coding. Like for me, obviously for anyone who does that, amazing, but it wasn't for me either. So I'm a bit more like you, where we're more creative in terms of the production side of things. But so you've answered kind of like the first question that I want to ask, really. So where is it that you work?
Oh, I work at DreamWorks.
Perfect. Yes, because you left that out, Claudeen.
Okay.
And that's like so amazing. And how did you, okay, so you already said how you got there, but what was the route like in order to get to get into working at DreamWorks? So was it hard? Was it challenging? What was it like?
I'll say that, of course, with like any goal, it's going to take hard work. But I think that it's really like persistence that'll get you there, and just trying and trying again. So actually, when I was still in Pittsburgh and I was in the first year of my program, in the summer, we had to start our internships, and it had to be in entertainment. And that was actually difficult because I was applying to jobs in LA and I was competing with people who were also already in LA, and they had, they went to schools that people in LA, companies in LA knew, like maybe UCLA and so it was hard. I was applying to a lot of jobs. I applied to many, many jobs. And I even had a spreadsheet, I was just trying to get something. And I actually was able to get an internship at Skydance Animation, which was like my first introduction into animation. So I think that I ended up interning at Skydance Animation in the first summer, and I really liked it. I liked the company. I loved the people. I was so interested in animation. And so because of that, I then was able to apply to DreamWorks. And I think it really helped me that I had experience in animation. I was excited about it. I think with my application, I made sure to do a cover letter and just really, just convey my excitement, my enthusiasm for working at that company. And then once I was in DreamWorks, I think they have a really good retention program with like their interns, and it really seems like they're trying to build those connections and they want to bring us back. And so, I kind of communicated that. And interestingly enough, I ended up graduating after the pandemic, and I didn't in the pandemic, and I didn't have any, any jobs lined up. And a recruiter at DreamWorks ended up reaching out to me on LinkedIn. And so I really love to emphasize everyone have your LinkedIn updated,
Yes.
be present on there. I got to say, I actually am not someone who is really posting on LinkedIn all of that much because I find that for me, I kind of like to have one-on-one conversations with people when I'm networking. But for those people who do like to post on LinkedIn, often very valuable resource. I will say recruiters are on there looking out. It's good to kind of just stay at the top of people's minds.
Absolutely. And me and you, we met on LinkedIn,
Absolutely,
and you're all the way in the US and I'm in the UK. And I feel so privileged to have met you,
Same.
via LinkedIn. So listen, guys, LinkedIn is an amazing spot. And I think in terms of my career search, it's been amazing, like in terms of networking. So
Definitely a valuable tool.
Absolutely. And I was going to say as well, when did you know that you wanted to work in the TV industry? Like, has it been something from a child that you kind of had a desire to work in this industry?
No. I will say no. I would have like ideas of it. I'd be like, oh, that would be nice. But actually, I think when I was entering college, I was definitely, I maybe started as like a political science major. And then I thought, oh, yes, like I want to be a lawyer. And then I realized, no, that's not what I want to do. And I feel like I did jump around a lot in college, but it was really useful for me because I was able to figure out what I didn't want to do and also what I wanted to do. And I actually have a really great friend who was working in computer science. She was getting her degree towards that. She does passion projects. She's always doing something. And it was so exciting to watch her and see all that she does and how she can kind of just make her own opportunities. And that really inspired me. And that's why I was like, oh, I want to do that too. And then when I ended up doing an internship it was an IT internship at a theater in Tampa, like I mentioned earlier. That's when I kind of realized, ooh, I like entertainment. My boss was great. She knew I was very interested in like the logistics. So she took me around and she would let me go to meetings where they were talking about how they would put the shows on. So when I was there, that kind of started in the back of my mind, like, wow, I very much like entertainment. And once I started to kind of figure out, okay, what do I want to do? I realized, okay, I kind of like putting things together. Maybe I want to be a producer. I worked on hackathons, which are events that are put on. It was put on at my college and it was totally student run, where we would have people from colleges all over Florida, sometimes even Georgia, come to our school for like 30 hours and they could build whatever they want using software, hardware. And at the end, there was a showcase where everyone showed off what they built. And, we had to figure out the venue. We had to get funding. We had to get sponsors, and we had to get people who could, mentors for people who needed help with certain languages. And we got food. We provided all of that for the students. It was a totally free event. Wow. And so I really loved organizing all aspects of that. And I loved entertainment. And so I think when I put it together, I kind of thought, okay, maybe I want to be a producer. And so it really didn't click for me until my senior year, maybe my senior year of college, maybe even my junior year, actually. And so, yeah, I would say the end of my junior year,
Wow.
my third year, that's when I realized,
So
okay,
how old was you then? How old was you then in
I guess I
junior
was,
year?
yeah, I guess I was, maybe I was 21, maybe I might have been
21.
21. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay,
21
nice.
or yeah.
Yeah, because I think people have in their minds that, we all had this childhood dream and everyone knew what they wanted to do. I think even myself, it's funny you said that you wanted to be a lawyer, because in my mind when I was younger, I wanted to be a lawyer, a barrister, and then I
Yeah.
did law in college and I didn't like it at all. Like I'll get like low grades. I was thinking that this isn't for me. If I can't
Right.
do it at college, how can I do it at university?
Yeah.
So it just, I think it's important to actually see what you don't like, and then actually sometimes you find what you do like through that.
Right. I think that
Yeah.
exploration in college really helped me because I was able to do different organizations and just talking to different people. And then I realized, nope, that's not for me. What else
Yeah.
is? And it's still like that today, actually. I
Okay.
did, I was thinking, okay, I want to be a producer, but actually I've had so many different opportunities through all my internships. I was able to do 6 when I was in my master's program. And I've liked a lot of it and it's all been different. And I realized, wow, I just love entertainment. There's so much I like. I wouldn't want to limit myself with just putting a name on something. There's a lot
Yes.
of different things I like to do. So I kind of am just like, oh, this is what I want. I can say what I want, but I wouldn't want to, just like label myself and just say no to something because it's not aligned with what I think is best for me.
Yeah. And I think when you have that mindset, a lot more doors open for you, because I suppose sometimes if we come with these perceived conceptions, or, okay, I want to do this, but I don't want to do that, or that's not going to be for me, even if we don't know it is for us or not. It's kind of like we've shut ourselves off from something that actually could be the best thing to ever happen to us. So you're
Exactly.
right.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. So that's actually amazing to think, because I actually used to be more narrow-minded in terms of there was one way, anything else but that is everything's blocked off. But I found that opportunities were less then, whereas now opportunities are more abundant,
Exactly.
basically.
Exactly. It's kind of a thing where,
Yeah,
you might always want to try something. There's no need to just say no, check it out. Just see, like,
exactly.
it might be the best thing for
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. Absolutely. And that leads on to my other question, Claudeen. What do you love most about your job?
Okay. I would say I really love the culture, the people. So for me, now that I'm realizing I'm starting to think about what I like, I really just love a good work environment. I like to work with people who are great communicators and who advocate for me. And so what I really like is my team. I like that I feel like I have opportunities to do many things in my job, even though it might say one
Yes.
thing. I do feel like if I said,
Mm.
hey, I'm very interested in doing this, the people on my team would help me make a way so that I would be able to try it. I'm not boxed in, I'm
Wow.
not trapped, I'm not in a cage. There's not
Mm.
just one thing I do, I can do many. And that's very valuable for me. I think no matter where I'll end up, I really want to just be able to explore and continue learning. That's also something that's very valuable for me. I think I'm able to continue my education and learn new things so that I can always grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I love about your role as well is that you've got so much authority in like the choices that are made and the decisions that are made in terms of through storytelling. Like I love that, and you're able to like liaise with like the artists, and you're kind of there throughout the whole process of the process at DreamWorks. So that's what I love, and you're clearly very good at it, Claudine.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Yes, I would definitely say it's mostly,
Oh.
communicating with the artist. This role is kind of
Mm.
very new to me. So I think that I will, of course, see more of what it is. And I'm looking forward to that definitely because, it's kind of fresh. And so I'm just excited to see like what more will come. And yes, I'm very much enjoying it.
Absolutely. And you're such an amazing communicator. I don't know if you know this, but you explain everything so eloquently
Oh my
and
goodness. Thank you so much.
clearly. So I love it. So I can see it. And what would you advise other people who want to work in our industry, so in the TV industry, in film, TV?
Yes, I would definitely say I spoke about it before, and it's kind of that resilience and persistence. And so, you may have to apply to a lot of internships or jobs, opportunities. And I think, you will get a lot of rejection. You will. And so
Yes.
you have to be able to keep on going, apply to that job again next time, work on the resume, keep on tweaking it, because there are a lot of other people who want these positions. But I do believe that if you keep on actively putting yourself out there, or, trying different ways and thinking in different ways so that you can say, okay, this didn't work. Maybe I'll do it this way. I do believe that you can get into the industry. You can get the job you want. I also want to emphasize not locking yourself off, like we also discussed. So maybe someone out there is like, wow, like I want to work on an independent movie or something. I want to do this. I want to do this. And maybe like a TV job comes and it's not what they thought. I would encourage them to maybe take the opportunity. You never know where that could lead you to. Maybe you'll meet somebody who can get you to that independent film job, or maybe you really like this TV job. So, you just being open to opportunity, as well as networking. I know a lot of people might be intimidated by networking, and networking I don't think it should be something that's very scary. I think that, Saffron, what you and I do, we network,
Yes.
but it's really just building a relationship with somebody.
Absolutely.
I saw your profile and I was very intrigued. I just wanted to know more about you and your path, how you got to where you are as well. And it just was very interesting. And that's networking. And I feel like we're friends now, and
Absolutely.
it doesn't have to be, always speaking to people who are way above you. That can also be very valuable, but it can be your peers. You can network with your peers. One day your peers will be high up executives. And so
Exactly.
I don't think that networking has to be this big, scary thing. It can be very comfortable. Use LinkedIn to your advantage, just talk to people, see who they would recommend you speak with, and things like that.
Absolutely. And it's like you said, like, networking, you just be yourself.
Yes.
You don't have to, because every time we think of networking, we think, oh, we have to wear a suit or we have to talk a certain way. But no, just be yourself. And I think if you're in the right industry for you, you'll be fine and you'll flourish. And like you said, Claudine, me and you met through networking, and now it just feels so natural. And like I said, we are friends now, and we've helped each other connect to other people as well in the industry. So you never know, even if the person you meet cannot help you directly, they may know someone who can. So like you said, don't close yourself off. And networking is a big deal, and resilience as well. And you've answered my other question where I asked, do you think we have to have resilience in this industry? So, and also how do we continue to build up that resilience within
Right. I think I do want to say, I do think it gets easier, actually, one, being resilient, and two, like, once you kind of break in. But I do want to say that I think when I was first applying to my first internship in entertainment, I needed to get one because I had to from my program. And I applied to maybe 50 or 60 internships, and I heard back from 2. And so, I had to, though. And you can't expect to just, apply to maybe 10. Maybe you can. And maybe if you speak to people and have, connections where you can get a position, that can work to your advantage. But, I got a lot of rejections, and I kept on going and kept on going. I think it's so necessary. I do also want to say that I think I've had, like I mentioned, I did 6 internships when I was, first entering the entertainment industry, and all those positions except one, I knew someone, I had a connection. It was through networking that I was able to get the position.
Wow,
I know.
right.
And so it's so valuable. And it's not, like I said, oh, like I reached out to the hiring manager and it was actually maybe people who were in my program before and they kind of gave me some tips, or they connected me with somebody on the team or something. Or, I feel I was very privileged, of course, because of the program I was in. They really helped us, of course. That's what they do. They want us to get jobs in entertainment. And I felt like they were very successful with that. They taught us how to really hustle and, grind when we're applying to internships. And it's not just, oh, I'm going to just do it here and there. No, they had us say, hey, like treat it like a class, every Tuesday, Thursday, you should be an hour and a half. You should be applying to jobs. You should be doing something to better your resume or your cover letter. So yeah, I feel like that resilience is absolutely necessary.
Absolutely. And it goes with everything in life, doesn't it? And I feel like for myself, for example, I feel like my resilience was built up even before getting the role at the BBC, because I found that, because I experienced so much rejections, even though your rejections is not easy, I do feel like subconsciously you do get stronger, especially if you keep pushing yourself to go further and, okay, I didn't get it this time, but let me try again.
Yes.
And yes, the second time, if you get rejection, yes, it does hurt. And sometimes it hurts more than the first one. But I think when you keep going, your resilience muscle, it gets stronger and stronger.
Exactly. It gets better.
Absolutely.
You just okay, another one. But I will say, you do, sometimes like it's great because maybe sometimes you just get automatic rejection. Sometimes though, you get to speak with people and then maybe you don't get it still. You do the interview, you still don't get it. But I always like to, look at that and say, hey, like I got all these rejections. Automatic, then I got to meet with somebody. Like it gets better and it will happen again, even though it just seems like I'm constantly doing this. No, I will get the interview again. So let me just work on my interviewing skills. So next time I'll be better. And you will find something that's suited for you. It can take a long time. It can take a year. It could take more than a year. Keep on going. Keep on going.
Absolutely. I think, and it's like you said, it could take a year or more, but I think if we don't focus on the time and just focus on the actual thing, then it kind of takes our mind off it. It's a lighter load.
Just focus on your kind of your wins. Like, oh wow, I did get that interview. Hey, the company saw something. Something's even though I didn't get the job, my resume is looking better.
Exactly.
People are, so that's great. Okay, what can I work on now? Let me just
you're getting more
interviews.
Feedback. Absolutely. Right. I remember there was a situation where I had been rejected for a specific role, but the person had said to me, because when I was younger, even though I loved to write, I still would struggle a bit with my grammar. And so I was working hard on my cover letter and my grammar and just how I'm putting words together. So I applied for this role and the person said, oh, bless you.
Thank you.
The person had said, well-researched cover letter. And even though I didn't get the job, that it made me happy because I was thinking, oh my gosh, I got a compliment on something that I've been working on. So sometimes it's not, the rejection isn't bad. And I do love the quote. I don't know if you've heard it, Claudeen, but it says rejection is redirection. So it directs you to something better for you or
absolutely
more fitted for you.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. There's so many times where it's like, I'm like, oh man, aren't I happy that I didn't get that position because now I have this one. And it's like, it always will work out. And I do want to say also, I think it's great that person, gave you that feedback, because it's like, okay, it wasn't just, oh, they're just quickly going through. That person saw something and that's great. That person might remember you for like next time. And one time I applied to a position at a company and I was rejected, but in the rejection, it wasn't just automated. The recruiter actually was like, Claudeen, she said something like, we really loved you, but there just isn't a position here for you. We couldn't make it work this time. And I applied to a different position at a parent company, I think. And I asked her, I said, can I still is this position relating to the one that I was already rejected for? Could I possibly like still do this one? She actually sent my resume personally to the person who was looking for the intern. And that person reached out to me the next day and said, hey, my colleague had great things to say about you. I'd love to do an interview. Interviewed with them and I got that position instead.
Wow.
And it was so fast. It was less than a week, maybe even 3 business days. And
wow,
so
my goodness.
it was a rejection that led to something else, something that was better for me.
Wow, that is fun. That is a fantastic story. And it just goes to show that when we stay open-minded as well, you know, we allow ourselves to step into better, because sometimes we don't even know what's best for us. Sometimes we don't until it comes to us. So that's amazing. No,
yeah,
honestly,
I really like to think about it.
Yeah. And how much times have we actually said, because even thinking of it now, I'm talking to you, some of the things that I got rejected for, I'm like, wow, I'm actually glad I didn't get that role because, you know, actually, would it have worked out how I wanted, or this role that I'm in now is amazing, and would I have loved it as much as this role? So that's, you know, that's spot on.
It's so interesting. Also, I think that the job I ended up getting helped me get to where I am now, which I really love. So I'm so thankful that it ended up pivoting me in this new direction. It was actually, I was applying to a live action. It was a live action film, maybe internship. And then I ended up getting an animation. I applied at the animation division, ended up getting an animation internship. And now I work in animation at DreamWorks. So something to think about.
Claudeen, honestly, every time I hear about what you've done, sometimes you just say it so casually, but I'm just like mind blown. I'm getting all these diamonds coming to me, and you're just like, it's just this. do you
No, I'm saying I feel the same. I feel the same.
Wow, that's very humbling to know. And I was gonna say, do you ever sometimes just sit and think about all your accomplishments, or do you sometimes you just kind of keep going and forget how far you've actually come?
That's okay. So it's so interesting because I find that sometimes once I do something, I then say, okay, well, I just did it. It wasn't even that hard. It's not even that much of an accomplishment. On to the next thing. But there will be people around me who will be like, Claudeen, you know, you need to take the time to celebrate this. This is something you've been working towards. And I love having that support system to kind of check me in that way, because we have to celebrate the little things in life for real. And I might just overlook it like, okay, well, I just did that, so it wasn't even that big of a deal. I need to move on and actually do something bigger. When I am doing great things, and I need to celebrate that, because that's the great thing about life. Like, wow, I wanted this for so long and I've gotten it. Like, let me take the time and celebrate that. And I have friends and family who remind me of that and who say, Claudeen, like, I'm so proud of you. And I find I do tell that to my friends as well. I love when my friends get an accomplishment. I love asking, how are you going to celebrate this? How are you going to take yourself out? Are you going to do your nails? Like, what? I want to hear how they're going to celebrate this, to kind of make sure they do, because this is not something just to brush over. You just got this job that we've been working towards. And it's really exciting. I love to think about it, because my friends, I still have very close friends that I made when I was a freshman in college, my first year. And we are now where we were dreaming, where we dreamed of being. We're now in these places, and we're doing more. You know, we used to just want the internship, and now we have the jobs. And I love that. You know, we're always evolving. It's always like, oh my gosh, like, we're here now. What next? Now what? Because we can do that too. We got here, and it's really amazing to think about. So, you know, sometimes on my own, I'll just be like, okay. But I love to celebrate it. And I think it's very important to pat yourself on the back. You did it. And this is amazing.
Absolutely. And I love what you said when your friends achieve something great, or share good news with you, and you say to them, so what are you going to do to celebrate? I think that's such a good question, because then it reminds them, oh, wow, this is something that's worth celebrating, you know, and it's important, because not everyone thinks that goal or that achievement that they've done is worth even you know, celebrating. So you have to treat yourself. I think, you know, your mind is a powerful thing. I think when you treat yourself, it does something good to your soul and to your mental well-being. You know, it's just like an appreciation to yourself, because like you said, Claudeen, we wanted to be in the spaces that we are in now. Whereas back then, if someone had told us we would be here now, we would be like, oh my gosh, I'd love to do that. I'd
Yeah.
love to do this.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So it's appreciating where you are
Yeah.
now. No, that was
Have that
very
gratitude.
inspiring.
Yeah, it's very, you should
Yeah.
be like, wow, I'm so lucky. Just sit here, like,
Exactly.
look at this. I'm doing what I
Yeah.
love. I'm having fun.
Literally.
Even if it's a hard day,
Yes.
you're like, whoa, like I get to work in entertainment. I
Entertainment,
wanted that for
literally.
years. I wanted that for years, and here I
Girl.
am.
Yes, absolutely. And my other question is, in a world where we are very social media obsessed, what would you say to others who are constantly like comparing their career paths to others,
Mhm.
in terms of them not being happy in the job that they are in, but they see others online, for example, in their dream
Right.
jobs?
I would say, and everybody's probably heard this, but you cannot compare yourself to anyone else. When you are in entertainment, and what I would recommend people, who want a job maybe in entertainment, I'd recommend them to use things like LinkedIn to reach out to people who have jobs, and you can informational interview someone. You can ask someone, even if they're like executives and very high up, they might not, respond to you, but you could reach out to them and you could say, hey, I would like 15 minutes of your time. I want to ask you 3 questions. You can, talk to people who have positions that you want in 5 years, or who have people who have positions that you want right now. And I think that when you do these informational interviews and, you say, hey, I want to be respectful of your time, I only want 15 minutes. When you talk to people, the more people you talk to, you will notice no one has the same task. No one has, okay, this is how you do it. You do this, this, and then you'll be in entertainment. You'll never see it. Everyone will say, oh, I fell into this. I was lucky, like this opportunity popped up. It happens for a lot of people, and you never know when or how it will happen to you. And so it doesn't make any sense to compare yourself like, wow, this person's doing this. That's not your path. You will get there too. We're all on different timelines, and you will get there too in your own way. And maybe that person had to do something that you don't want to do, you're not comfortable with, to get there. Well, you can still get to that position in a different way where it's exciting the whole way. You're having a good time in each step of your own journey. Would you rather, rush it and then you're not liking it? It puts you off. Maybe you don't even want to do that anymore. Or you enjoy each step. You learn things that will be useful to you now and later. So I would say, of course, you can't compare yourself. Every path is different.
Absolutely. I love that so much, especially, I mean, look at me and you, Claudeen. We're both in similar, we're in the same industries, but obviously we're doing different,
Right.
content. But like both of our paths are completely different, but we're still both in very good jobs, and, we're loving what we do. And it's amazing what you said. So instead of falling into the trap of comparison and into, constantly looking on people's social media, exchange that energy with reaching out to people
Yes.
and talking to them, because you find that you get more inspired. And I think being more inspired than sitting down comparing is not good for you,
Exactly.
and it won't do you any good. I mean, me personally, I have been in seasons of my life where I've compared, and it hasn't done me any good. But what's helped me is, like you've said, reaching out, respecting people's time, asking them questions if they're happy to continue being in your network, and reaching out to them. And like you said, everyone's timeline is different, and I found that even some of the people that I was comparing myself to, when I look at it, like, would I actually even be happy in the role that they are in? And, it's meant for them. It's not meant for me. And it's not meant
Exactly.
for me for a reason, because I wouldn't be happy in it simply. But no, honestly, that's a beautiful answer. I love that.
Oh my goodness. And
Yeah.
I want to talk about the inspiration that you can get. I do feel like, wow, sometimes maybe you're applying and you're not getting anything. Really speaking with people and, networking, I'm putting up my air quotes, but that can really be inspiring, because you'll hear other people's stories, and you'll hear that, oh, they also had maybe challenges, but this is what they did, and look at where they are now. And so it is really inspiring to kind of just talk to people, because then you're able to see, oh, it is possible for me as well. I can do this
Absolutely.
too.
Absolutely, because so much times we tell ourselves, oh, we can't do this, or oh, that goal looks unachievable. Because one thing as well with social media is that everyone's lives looks perfect, and we don't always see the small steps that they took to get where they got to. But when you actually speak to people and they break down their journey, you actually see, oh, wait, me and you aren't that different. Like, you've had failures, I've had failures too, you know. They didn't start at the top, they worked there. So I think some parts of social media can be very, people obviously put their good things on with good reason. Not everyone wants to share their failures, but yeah, absolutely. I think that's spot on, Claudeen.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that also this not interview, but this podcast is could be very useful for people. You know, I think this is going to be really great.
Oh, thank you, Claudeen. Yes, I'm with you on it, girl. I just know a lot of people will love it. So what advice would you give to the younger you, so the younger Claudeen?
I would definitely, very interesting. I would definitely say just enjoy the present, enjoy the now, because you'll get there. You know, I do, like I mentioned maybe a little earlier, like I always kind of am working to one thing and I'm just like envisioning. I think I'm very much a futurist, actually. Like I love thinking about the future. I love planning and just thinking about what will be. It's very exciting to me that I can craft my own life and my own journey. It's just a thrill. But sometimes when I do that, I stop to just kind of enjoy the now. And it's like, okay, I'm so worried about getting this internship, but it's like, okay, right now, you know, you're just in grad school maybe. And, you know, it's okay to just don't worry too much and stress out about, oh, is it going to happen? What happens if I don't get this? It's not a big deal if you don't get it. You'll get something else. You know, there's no need for that stress right now. Just enjoy, relax. You will get there because you have resilience.
Absolutely. It's like what we said, you need resilience in every part of your life. And absolutely, yeah. I think as long as you don't give up and, you know, you don't take yourself too seriously, but you're still serious. But like you said, you know, enjoying your time, enjoying your journey of where you are now. Absolutely. Because I think we can be so hard on ourselves. And I think if we were to literally meet our younger selves, how we were, they'd probably be like to us, Claudeen, Saffron, or whoever's listening, you know, you're doing amazing. You know, we've come very far. Just take it easy, take your time. There's no need to rush as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. Where can we find you on social media / professional kind of
you
profiles?
Can find me on LinkedIn, and you know, please feel free to reach out. I love to sit down with people for 15 minutes, have a chat. I really do love connecting with people.
Amazing. And what is your handle? So like, is it your...
It's my first name and my last name. I'm pretty sure you can just search Claudeen Guillaume.
Okay.
And I don't know if will you be like putting my name in the...
Yes, I will. Yes,
okay,
yes, I will. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Okay, also, where does your surname come from? It's beautiful. And I don't actually know how to pronounce it.
It's Guillaume. Yes, I'm Haitian. My dad is Haitian. My mom's
fantastic.
Jamaican.
Oh, wow. Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm a Jamaican.
Even know this.
American.
Jamaican. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's fantastic. Yeah. So I'm full Jamaican. So I haven't got the tropical Haitian mix. But that's amazing, honestly. But thank you for having us, Claudeen. And, you know, we really appreciate your words of wisdom, your gems, and your time that you've given to us. You know, you're someone that we really do appreciate and we look up to. So thank you very much.
Having me. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Hey, thanks for listening to today's podcast. If you enjoyed what you heard, it doesn't have to stop here. Check out our Instagram at _ponder on that with Saffron, and our Twitter page at podcast_ponder. Feel free to follow us for more inspiration and goodness.